and he had his say, he had his stand, and partly that stand was liked by many people of Kenya. So him coming out to just raise issues that, according to him, he has some confirmations. I think what really matters at this point is those issues be investigated. We've seen, if you remember, Ndindi Nyoro had problems with the government. The other day, he was also shown the door. And Babu Owino is, of course, one of the members of parliament who have performed well. And the people in government might not want him, to continue enjoying the popularity and also showcasing what he has done to the people of his constituency. And this is not the first time we are seeing a politician coming out to, just raise such kind of issues, especially when they feel that they are opposing the bad things that the government is doing. So more of this, of course, we'll see, especially to those members of parliament or leaders who have stood by the people, or all those leaders who have not supported the government.
Okay, thank you so much. And before I invite Jeru, let me take Miguda. What is your take on the presser of Babu Owino today?
The presser of Babu Owino cannot be treated with a light note. It must be taken into consideration, because this is politics, and politics, anything is possible. And we can't treat rumors like rumors. Rumors must be taken into consideration.
Yeah.
Babu, having cited that there was a high-profile meeting that they discussed, we have to ask ourselves where did Babu got the intel?
Yeah.
And when he was praising, he told us about reasons for that meeting. One of the reasons was to purchase him so that he can conspire with the status quo, or there was also a reason to deal with him perpendicularly, whatever that deal with him.
Yeah.
Because dealing with him, it means now they are going to deal with him through either way. And also they want to brought in the issue of government agencies like the EACC and other agencies to deal with them. In my view, or if they want to deal with him in that manner, they are simply making him. That's a way of making a leader. And if they could wanted to destroy him as a leader, they could have spared him, they could have ignored him, or they could have planted opponents in Embakasi East, because currently they are even trying to plant opponent, the Nairobi gubernatorial Sakaja. But even though they are trying, Babu is more popular to Sakaja, and they are not sparing him. I believe that Babu, people are saying that he is ambitious, which is not an offense. It's not a crime to be ambitious, or it's not a crime to differ. Because if you have a self-determination that I want to have a self-determination within ODM, I want to have a different view of how things are working in the country. And we are in politics. It is all about interest. As a young person, he's also ambitious. And the tactics he's using to rise to power might be a threat to the status quo. Because he was ranked as the best performing MP in the entire country, development, he has done good. In terms of popularity, he is one of the most popular politicians. If you put out of 3 politicians in the country, Babu is number 3 out of all politicians in the country. I think Baba used to be number 1, and I don't know what has happened right now, but in top 3, you can't miss Babu. I think Baba is also in top 3 there. And in terms of ambitious, he's ambitious, just like another person. I don't see any crime when someone is ambitious. I don't see any crime when someone is having a political interest, because Babu wants to be the governor of Nairobi. That's a fact. And already, the UD and ODM are rallying behind Sakaja. What do? You have also to chart a different path. It doesn't mean that you win. You can even vie and you can lose the seat. But the point is, it's all about interest. I don't need to agree with you. You can disagree as a people, but it is not enmity. It's just politics. And we have issues like popularity and development. They want to deal with the issue of popularity. How popular is the guy? And in terms of development, now they want to tarnish his name through EACC, that the development in Embakasi East are not in accordance with the way the info track clearly stated before. At the same time, in terms of popularity, they want to deny that he's not popular, and he's popular. He's popular among the young people. Only the only difference is that right now he has not, he doesn't enjoy that support from Baba. Baba is no longer supporting Babu Owino, and that's a fact. These are things that Babu are afraid of talking about because he want to, maybe he thinks that he will be given ODM ticket. No, he is not going to be given ODM ticket. He should start early, and he should not confront Baba directly, because as a young person, he needs Baba's blessings, even he needs Baba's supporters. But what must be put into record is that Babu is having an interest. Babu's interest is different from Ruto's interest, is different from Baba's interest. Therefore, you cannot compel him to align with your policies because of your own interest. As a young person who's ambitious, he also want to be the Nairobi governor. Let him follow his heart as a young person, and he's also having a time. And I want to conclude by the quote of Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King once said that the ultimate measures of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. That is where now Babu is. He stands in the times of challenge and controversy. We want him to prove to us that if truly is a man and truly is a leader, let him go on and deliver for the people whatever the people want. If he can manage, then we are going to coronate him as the something I don't want to talk about.
Okay, Mr. Njiru, how are you doing, sir?
Yeah, thank you, Bwana Benson. Can you get me now?
I can get you very clearly.
Yeah, nimeshukuru sana kwa kujiunga na kipindi chako siku ya leo.
Yep.
Na asante sana. Nataka kwanza kuchangia na kusalimia wale vijana wengine wamekuwa hapa na wanatoa maoni yao.
Yeah.
Na kusema ya kwamba hiyo maneno ya kukuja hapa na watu wanatoa maoni yao ni jambo la busara sana, na sababu tunajaribu sasa kuimarisha demokrasia ya Kenya, whereby tunaweza endelea kuongea na kusema ni lipi jipya. But let me begin with Babu Owino.
Yes.
Babu Owino steps are good. If Babu Owino is doing what he is doing in 2007, I could say that anajichimbia kaburi. But remember, Bwana Benson, Babu Owino is rising up at a time when Bwana Baba, aka Raila Odinga, is also withering politically. So there is no much ramification effects which Babu Owino is going to get by shining at this time. Because as you know very well, we have lived at times whereby leadership was a blessing. Now we are in a moment whereby leadership is a grab. You grab. And that is something which is happening globally. Even in America, there were people who underrated Donald Trump efforts in 2015 when he was coming down the escalator. Many people were saying that it was impossible for a man who is coming from nowhere, just a businessman, to actually become the GOP leader by not having the blessing of the mighty GOP powerhouses at that moment. But in nature, you can get leadership in two ways, Bwana Benson.
Yeah.
You can either get leadership through blessing, or you can get leadership through aggressive perspectives. Either way, they work. So, but the leadership through blessing is whoever is blessing you is still at the pedestal of popularity. So you can rely on that. Like if that person, they are still enjoying a lot of accolade, people are still taking them as the most eminent person in the society, you can rely on their blessings. But when the people who have been in power or who have been enjoying that leadership are also not enjoying much of the popularity and the benefits which they enjoyed before, you realize actually you could receive blessings from them and you still flop. Bwana Benson, I want to tell you that right now as we speak, there is no assurity that Raila Odinga blessings can actually give you a seat. in 2027. There's no that. You even saw some people who Raila Odinga endorsed sometime in 2022 there about before the national elections, and they fraud. There was a time when Raila Odinga endorsement was equivalent to not having an election. You know that?
Yeah.
But not at this particular moment, because people have evolved. People have seen that that idea of blessings at times can also take a community into bad directions. Some of these people who anoint, they can also take advantage of their popularity, and actually they bring bad leaders. So people have also been aware of that you're expecting certain somebody to be the person who is a leader, but because sometimes Bwana Benson, anointing is bad. Hii maneno ya kuwekelea mtu mkono ni mbaya, because you happen by design you get crooks, you get bootlickers, sycophants, because the only thing which you need to do is to pay allegiance to the anointing authority, and you are good. So let's speak about this issue of Babu Owino. Babu Owino understands very well that even if he cow down, he tries to pretend that he is waiting for the anointing of Raila Odinga. He has known that it is not a must that anointing of Raila Odinga will make him anything. So what do? Is I ignore Raila Odinga at the moment. I don't speak anything about him, but I change my own path. And how do you change your own path? You create your own constituency. Babu Owino is not a foreigner in Kenya. So partly he can be able to build his own coalition. He can be able to build his own political front. So to some extent, whether Raila Odinga will want to come and side with him or not, he will be one step further. So we need to understand that. So Babu Owino is not a starter. I know Raila Odinga supporters might want to punish him for that, for not being very much paying allegiance. But Babu Owino looks like somebody who can be able to cut across the aisle. It looks like he can be able to build coalitions even with other tribes. And that one is also a very key trajectory. On the issues of the government looking for him, in terms of this vendetta, that one is always automatic. So, Bwana Benson, every time when you are becoming popular, when you look as if you are a threat and you are not on the side of the government, the government will always want to look for you, because they want to cripple you, they want to fizzle you, they want to slow you down. So Babu Owino has to understand that he has to be slowed down by the government. Even hata ile kesi yake ya risasi, it will also be resurrected. You will be seeing fake witnesses. Utaanzia kuona watu wakitokezea watakuwa wanasema hata mimi nilikuanga hapo nikaona huyo mtu akipigana risasi, and it was pathetic. So that is what happens, because when the government usually fights you from your weaknesses. So that is the reserve. I regret that incident of shooting for Babu Owino, because that is something which will actually be always be coming on his life for a long time. So I don't know how he'll be able to fight it. I know people say that he apologized. People say that there is so much effort he has done to try and clean his, but that is something. But he can be able to fight it. The only way in which Babu Owino can be able to fight that issue is he has to become an exorbitant leader. Lazima kuwe kiongozi anaonekana he is a service leader, such that when people weigh the strength and the weaknesses, wanasema yenyewe hata kama huyu mtu kuna vitu ambazo alifanya kwa udogo wake na kwa ujana wake, at least he is a guy who understands. I see he is on that path. I heard there was a time when he was rated as one of the best MPs in Kenya. So that shows that maybe he understands Kenyans. I've not met with the people from Embakasi waniambie they compare for me his works vis-a-vis with people like Akina Didinyoro. I would want to hear what are those excellent things which Babu Owino has done, which actually put him in the pedestal of being the best MP in Kenya, because maybe there could be a scale to do that.
Okay. Let me before you continue, there's something, as you continue, there's something that I want to know from you based on what he has said. then my friend also will come in immediately after you, because what he says that the accusation that is labeling on the government, that the government is planning to use the agencies like ACC to come and taint his name. But this is a person that has been doing a good job, and you can see what he's doing. Why is it that the government wants to use this for the people who are doing projects that are being seen, rather than going for those who are not doing the projects, yet the money has been disbursed?
You need to understand that, Bwana Benson, when you don't declare, you see right now, ODM has sunk itself in the government. You need to know that. The ODM is in the government. And Babu Owino is an ODM MP, right?
Yeah.
I think he was elected in ODM. So it is automatic that if Babu Owino was not using his head, he is supposed to be now like, he should be acting like Junet Mohammed and some other cronies who have decided to go to the government full board. But how comes Babu Owino, despite the fact that he is an ODM MP, he seems not to agree with the party position towards the government? Unajua, there is an option for Babu Owino, right? There is an option for Babu Owino. Babu Owino should just support the government na hizi mashida zote ziishi. Yeah, there is an option.
Mean that if he supports the government, he holds the key to all the solutions that government is challenges the government is going through.
The issue is this. I said it in a sarcastic manner. I said that Babu Owino he just needs to support the government. Actually, you could be shocked even if the person who is fighting him, maybe could not be Ruto. Maybe even Raila Odinga is in it as part of a bigger plan, because maybe they have created that broad-based government. And you need to understand that any person in ODM fraternity who might seem to be criticizing William Ruto for now, you need to know that he will be fought from other front. Atapigwa both na UDA na atapigwa na ODM. So Babu Owino had an option of being silent. But I don't know the reason why he decided to be bubonic or to be visible outside there. Maybe they fear him, because Babu Owino, even with his age and his progression in politics, he can become something bigger than he is now. We should not forget about that. So, and by design, in politics, you don't fight the weak. That is the rule of politics, Bwana Benson. In politics, you always fight the strong. That is why there are so many ODM people or ODM registrations, and no one is going for them, because you always want to fight which will create news. You don't want to go and fight a little boy in Nyanza, even if he is an MP, but it will not create news. But you want to fight an heavyweight. So, Babu Owino has to be prepared for bigger wars than this one. Why? Even corruption scandals will be designed for him. That is what happens. So utaanzia kusikia kusijui kuna pesa ya CDF ikutumika vizuri, kuna hii ikufanyika. They always do that because ama mabiashara zake. Because you know, in Kenya, if you start fighting the government, that is where they start. Wanakujanga wanaanzia. Hata ulisikia Morara the other day kukisemekana ati ajalipa kodi. So utaanzia hata kusikia hata Babu Owino mwenyewe ajalipa kodi. So that is usual. Me, I always know how Kenyan government fights. All the time when wakianzia kuona you are strong, they always begin with you are not paying taxes for your business. Hadi sasa swali nikaanzia kujiuliza, does it mean that in Kenya all businessmen do not pay taxes, such that you are not paying taxes, and you want us to start knowing this person is not paying taxes when you start fighting the government? That is a problem I usually have. So let me give you a kicker for Babu Owino, because if you look at Babu Owino looks to be a little bit ambitious, and Babu Owino, if you look at his trajectory of progression, he looks like a person who could be a presidential material, not today, in the future. He looks like somebody who wants to position himself in a part of maybe in his generation, because unajua in every generation kuna kuanga na watu So in his generation, he might want to become something bigger than an MP. Some people have projected that he want to become Nairobi governor. I don't know how. I don't know if he has built a coalition which can propel him to that. But even if he doesn't become the governor of Nairobi, Babu Owino could become a key person in the opposition to Ruto, such that he has capacity to move masses, especially people of his generation, such that even if he is able to combine with those people who are forming the opposition to Ruto, he can actually be the part of the coalition member. Let me call them the principal. He can become a principal who will eject Ruto out of the state house. So what do you do? Any person who has capacity to become a principal, you cripple them mapema. Because if Mr. William Ruto has to win a second term, he has to make sure that the principals who might come into the year 2027, sio wengi, he needs, you have to reduce them. So you cannot allow like Kenya to have like 10 serious men outside there and fighting you. There is Gachagua, there is Moturi, there is Babu Owino, there is let's say like you have 10 people who can form a coalition. That coalition will fight you. So what Ruto will make sure is that any coalition which will come, he will make sure that that coalition cannot reach 5 people. Because 5 people can form a coalition to remove him. So it is not Babu Owino who will be fought. If hata mtu yote ambaye atakuwa anaonekana is like he is getting a political muscle, they will be fought. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Just hold your thought. Let me bring in my friend, Mr. Miguda. Miguda, just to ask you the same question that I asked Jiro, that based on what Babu has said, that they're going to use, they are planning to use SEC to come and taint his name. Yet we've seen the development and the change that this member of parliament has done. Why should they do that? Yet there's some other members of parliament who have been given actually almost the same amount of money, but no transformation has been seen in their various constituencies.
Not that we are supporting Babu Owino, but if you take your time, Njiru said that he has not an opportunity to discuss with the president of Embakasi East. Njiru, I can confirm to you that we are residents of Embakasi East, and when you walk in Embakasi East, there's transformation compared to the previous time when we had an MP some 10 years ago. There's a transformation that you cannot ignore with the leadership of Babu Owino. Babu Owino has brought transformation in terms of infrastructure, in terms of education, and also issuance of the bursary. He's one of the best MPs who issue bursary almost to 100%. Before I delve into those issues, first, let me tell you where this war began. Babu Owino was projected the way you have said. People saw him because he was very ambitious, and not only the government, but in ODM. You find that in ODM, the war began a long time ago. There are ODM, there is boys club in ODM. When there was time to issue committees in parliament, the likes of our community, he was denied an opportunity because out of all the presidential, during the presidential election, there is always presidential team nationally from either both side. All the presidential team in the previous election, all of them were rewarded except Babu Owino in the committee during the opposition time. And when you come to the leadership in the ODM, he was never rewarded. In my view, as a young person, he could have even been elevated even to a certain committee or even a certain leadership, because they have said that it should be taking care of the investment, maybe innovative, and we are asking ourselves, what is it that is there to be invested in ODM or to be invented in ODM that want him to be a leader of invention? The issue here is Babu Owino has really fight. He's a strong leader because the broad-based government also tried to fight Babu Owino, but he has overcome the broad-based government. During the AUC campaigns, when Sakaja was moving around with Baba, to announce that Baba went to Bomas of Kenya Sakaja, and he asked the people to allow Sakaja to work in the capital city. Babu Owino has overcome that one. They are now seeing that his popularity is increasing day by day. In fact, even whether there is a broad-based government, the issue of Sakaja being endorsed by ODM, and also being denied committees, being denied leadership in ODM, is still rising. Now they want to deal with this person. They have really tried to reduce his popularity, because they also try to bring the issue that he is not a Luo. And they try to bring the issue like DJ Evolve, and also they try to set it like marrying a Kikuyu. Babu have overcome all drug dealer. He has overcome all those things. Now they are now injecting the agency of the government, that is EACC, to deal with him and to tackle him because he was ranked as the best MP in Kenya. Now, if they want to use EACC to derank him, that he was never the best performing MP, all those things were corruption. That's what they want to now put on Babu. But I still believe that he will overcome this thing called corruption. When you talk about the projecting about either governor or future leadership, you must be strategic. As if you are residing in Nairobi, if you want to be the president of Nairobi, because Nairobi is composed of many tribes. We don't have only Luos or Chiefs in Nairobi. And you can say that with only Luo support, you can become governor or Chief support. You need other tribes. And also you need to focus on the youth, because most of the people are youth who are voting in Nairobi. And Babu Owino is seeing that now he has been denied by the mother party, ODM, because there's no crime. I don't see why if Babu want to vie for governor, they're telling him that he is young. There is no age for governorship. And there's nothing like being young or being old. If you want to vie, they let them go to nomination with Tim Wanyonyi and Babu Owino. So let them square that nomination if that is the case. Now they are trying to tell Babu, you are young, you can't be governor. How does that one even make sense? If the fact that you are young, you can't compete. And when people like Wanga wanted to become governor of Nairobi, of Homa Bay, nobody told Wanga that she's young. She was given direct ticket. Why is that when someone wants to become governor, they are now bringing those all stories? Those stories are not going to sell today. The people, so for you, if you have been denied all these chances, what do? You must project like Nairobi. You must be strategic. Right now, when Raila went to broad-based government, he left the Kamba votes. He left Kalonzo into opposition. The Cukes are not boarding the broad-based government. So you can just align yourself with the opposition within the Nairobi. And Nairobi is why we have the major opposition in the country. So if you are in opposition in Nairobi, you have high chances to be elected as governor. And I want to agree with you that if Babu today joins government, all these wars will come to an end. And also remember, if he joins government, even his popularity will be diminished. Therefore, Babu is strong. Let him keep on fighting. And we have said several times that he has said that he has no problem with Baba. He has no issue with Baba. But anybody in ODM who is having the issue with him, I want also to agree with the Njiru on one thing again, that the war might not come from the government or Raila. The war can sometimes be revolved the ODM Boys Club here, because within the ODM Boys Club, there are those people who want to take after Raila, and they are seeing Babu as a potential heir. When Raila exits state, Babu can take from Raila. What do? You deal with him outside. When it's outside, now you are in the broad-based government as someone who is projecting to take after Raila. You can use that opportunity to deal with him, so that when it's done, you just automatic inherit from Raila. But all these wars, we understand them and we know the people who are fighting Babu. We can't mention names here, but the war is emerging from Boys Club, not even from William or from Baba. The Boys Club are the one who are fighting this young man. But we said, and we still insist, that there's no crime for him to run for governor. There's no crime for him to differ with them ideologically. Once you have been endorsed by the Almighty God and the people, just go for anything you want, but let no one intimidate you that you must do it my way. If you're not doing my way, then I will not endorse you, I will not bless you. Once the Almighty has blessed you and the people, you will get the seat.
Okay. Thank you so much, Miguda. Then this is what Ayaga says. Babu Owino is a clever politician. He knows Kenyans love a person who is being victimized and must combine all these tactical maneuvers doing forward. Jiro, I want to come to you. And you talked about maybe they want Babu to come into the government. So if Babu comes into the government, because right now we know there are so many challenges that government is facing currently. And you even saw like the Justin Muturi is out, Rigathi Gachagua also was out. And if you look at those who are coming out, or those who tend to be facing the wrath, are those who are singing different tunes. Yeah. Now, Where is the democracy? Because democracy always dictates you have the right to express your view. And here is whereby if you have a dissenting view, it seems that you are the enemy to some quarters, you know. So everybody has to be in the government. Even the other day, President was saying the government is too big and I can accommodate everybody. Yeah. So how is that one putting on the democracy on the people who have dissenting views or dissenting thoughts on what is going to play on the management or even the running of the government with a particular administration?
Yeah. Thank you Bwana Benson. Nashukuru pia huyo kijana mwingine ametujoin hapo juu yako. I appreciate. Eric nakusalimia sana, najua wewe uwezi acha kuniweka vidole katika macho na ni sawa. We always meet in very many quarters and it's okay.
Yeah.
Nakaribisha pia wale wanaendelea kutuona saa hii and I'm saying that today I'm venting hapa kwa Brother Benson. I've just seen him na nikasema I need to kuingia hapa at least we combine. So Bwana Benson, Kenya is not a democracy. Forget about that. Any person who will tell you that Kenya is a democracy ako usingizi mkubwa sana. We are a democracy in rhetoric. Tukiongea like tuko mtaa tunasema Kenya is a democracy. So we are a democracy in theory, but in doing of things. And okay, let me ask you a question, Bwana Benson. How are we a democracy? And 1 year ago, if you are a serious Ruto must go brigadier, ulikuwa unapotea. Let me read you something here which is coming from social media. I don't know how. So Nikitu nakwambia, I want to what you are calling a democracy. Military and NIS chiefs sound warning on Ruto must go campaign. Ni kama sasa wanaanzia kuona sasa hiyo Ruto must go campaign is a democratic statement. I am free to say that if that is what my feelings tell me. Kama mimi nime-interrogate kwa akili yangu na akili yangu inaniambia Ruto must go is a democratic statement. But how comes nikitokezea hapo Nairobi niimbe Ruto must go, I might actually not arrive in my home. So Bwana Brother Benson, there's no difference between Kenya and North Korea and some other aristocratic states. It's only that we usually bury our heads we pretend we are in a very good country, and we are not. We know how many people have suffered in our soul, let me call in our so-called democracy. How many people have died all the way just for people trying to vent what is good and the right for the nation. All through, we had even people being. Can you talk of a democracy which deported Miguna few years ago? I'm not even talking of Ruto regime. Can you talk of a democracy where people are being retrieved in Riviera? Can you talk of a democracy where all ICC witnesses died? Almost all died. Can you talk of a democracy where there's no any election which has ever been won clearly and square? In a kuanga like we have an abrupt end. So Kenya is not a democracy. Kenya is a democracy on pretense. We pretend to be a democracy. We are not. Kenya is a country of oligarchs. Two men, they meet, they can do things on our behalf. They can share the cake on our behalf. Na sisi wengine tunakaa hapo. So Bwana Brother Benson, what Babu Owino is suffering, he is not suffering the effect of democracy. He is suffering the opposite. Because if Kenya was a democracy, whatever Babu Owino is doing are very small things. Hizo hata sio vitu za kufanya hata serikali ikose usingizi. Even Bwana Benson, Ruto must go chance. If Kenya was a democracy, hiyo sio vitu ya kufanya hata serikali ikose usingizi. ati tumaandamano kidogo ati serikali inaanzia kusema ukiona account whereby hata maandamano mkisema mnataka kuandamano wanaleta military style reaction. Na ni maandamano tu kidogo tu, ni vijana tu wanasema tu wanataka tu kujogojogo kwa barabara. Vijana tu wanasema wanataka kujogojogo kwa barabara. You bring a military type style reaction, unaanzia kuwagonga na maji ya yellow ama ni maji ya purple. Na hao watu unawagonga kabisa. So brother Benson, I refuse to discuss anything about Kenya being a democracy. Kenya is an aristocratic state. There's no difference between Kenya and North Korea. It's only that the Kenyan one we pretend that we have not documented, and the Kenyan leadership always roots us in the iron fist. That is why you cannot question anything. That is why they can steal our money. And if you go to ask where our money is going, like for example, sahi ukitokezea uanzie kuuliza maswali ya SHA, hata unaweza potea. Sahi wake up one morning, sahi uende tu hata hapo CBD Nairobi, uanzie kusema hii SHA ifanye nini. Like there's no freedom of expression in Kenya. There's nothing like that.
Yeah. When do you think that we will reach this point whereby we accept or realize that we have a problem, and when we have that problem, we need to start chatting about the solution? The reason why I'm asking you this is because sometimes even Kenyans themselves, we don't make decisions of our own. Like we can make our own decisions. Most of the decisions are being made by our leaders, whether bad or good. Because, for instance, I'm just about even what happened recently. Right now, we are told that we are uniting Kenyans, and we need Kenyan to be at peace. Yeah, and even yesterday at the burial of Murungi, the same sentiments were shared. And you've been given the reason why we feel that we should be together and move together in one government. When is it that Kenyans will come, and those who have woken up, especially those who are now questioning this, you find like they find it very difficult. They got that wanapimiwa hewa.
Wacha niongee hiyo story ya kuunganisha Kenya. Again, the best way kuunganisha Kenya is doing the right thing. Huwezi unganisha Kenya na mdomo, unfortunately. This is how you unite a country. And the best way to unite a country, I could talk of the 1940s escapades of the US, when actually FDR was given a third term, who was a Democrat at that time, and even Democrats said that we have no interest in the presidential election, and we feel this guy can continue. So that is what happened. So if you want to unite a country, usiende ukiambia inchi ni sisi wenyewe wararahoi. Let me tell you, haven't you seen countries whereby people get a leader, and when that leader is close to retire, raia wenyewe wanaanzia kusema na huyo mtu agongwe tamu ingine. Raia wanaanzia kutafuta, sio member of parliament anatafuta mbinu ya kukuongezea tamu. So you unite a country through good deeds. People are full. They have medical services. Infrastructure is working. They can get employment in their country. That's how you unite a country. But you cannot unite a country through rhetoric. So actually, any person uniting a country from the podium is actually dividing it. Ukisikia Ruto anasema tunataka kuunganisha, he is doing the opposite. Anaunganisha. That is what he is doing. Because you need also to understand in politics, kuna kitu tunaitanga reverse statements.
Yeah.
As in politics, in talks, that is what we call reverse statement. When a politician is saying, I want to unite Kenya, the meaning is, I want to divide Kenya. That is what it means. It's only that that's a part because it doesn't want to be put into task and into question. And as a symbol of national unity and representation. Yeah, so the truth of the matter is that Mr. William Ruto is working on all efforts to make sure that Kenya is divided. He doesn't want to unite Kenya. That is why factions have started coming. That is why now you can now see UDA and UDA and ODM trying to associate together. And then if you want to work with all the people, why is he not interested with the kama anataka kuunganisha? Why is he sucking some of the royal people in Mlima Kenya? Because these are things which are happening. Why is he sucking Muturi and bringing a sycophant? Huyu Nyang'au ameajiriwa na Ruto. Huyu anaitwa Roko is not a people's favorite. You need to understand that. Huyu Nyang'au he is not a people's favorite. Kindiki is not a people's favorite. Kindiki was not proposed by people. But how comes now Kindiki is number 2 in Kenya? He is not a people's favorite. Kindiki is a Ruto favorite. Roko is a people favorite. So now what Ruto is doing is he is now removing people who are brought through the people's action and putting a sycophant. And then he wants to project those people to become people's favorite. Let me tell you, and Bwana Benson nikwambie, Kindiki will never be accepted even in Tharaka Nithi. Hata amalize miaka 100, he will never be accepted. People are clever than what Ruto thinks he is. Why? Because watu wanajua ya kwamba huyu Kindiki, he did not go through a rigorous process of election. If Ruto deserved this Kindiki, ile wakati walikuanga wanasema yeye ndiye alikuwa anatakikana sana, angeenda na yeye kwa debe. The fact that whether Kindiki was a favorite of Ruto Kakun or not, Kindiki, as long as he is not elected, he is an appointed DP, because he is an appointed, he will never become a people's favorite. Na atajaribu kujisukumilia kwa watu na hatatoboa. For example, and I know a retro thing. For me, I will never acknowledge Kindiki as Kenya's deputy president. I will never, because the whole process of bringing Kindiki, I'm not stupid to know that that was manipulation. But it takes, again, intelligence for somebody to understand that Kindiki was a candidate under manipulation. So how do you want many people from our society to accept Kindiki? We cannot. Even if there's Roko, we will not accept them. We will not. Ruto will try to bring any person into his quarter, but we will not accept those people, because those people are being brought as alternatives of allegiance. Let me tell you, Bwana Benson, what alternative of allegiance mean. Alternative of allegiance is like stealing. What is stealing? Stealing is you go through an election because you know in an election you need a competitive team. You go through, it's like stealing because wewe unaenda kwa uchaguzi na wale watu umepewa na raia. Then uchaguzi kiisha, because now you want to put your own people on what it is stealing, because you are not supposed to remove the people who people have been working with, wale watu walikuwa najua, alafu sasa unaanzia kuleta timu yako ya masycophant. That is why we will not accept those people. Let me tell you for your information.
But I think what was happening, it was buying the loyalty from, especially now when you're talking about the deputy president coming from Mount Kenya, it was just trying to buy the loyalty, but not that was not something that.
But you see, what is happening, Bwana Benson, is that we will not bow down to one man in the Republic of Kenya. And that is what William Ruto wants us to do. William Ruto wants us to bow to him. That yeye akiamua so and so atoke hapa aingize mwingine, sisi tunakubali. We will not bow down to one man who thinks that he wants to drive Kenya the way he wants. We will not do that. I'm sorry, it's unfortunate. What people in Mount Kenya, and Laban is so sijui anatufuatilia wapi. Personally, I come from Mount Kenya, the so-called Mount Kenya East. And I can tell you, Mount Kenya, there's nothing like Mount Kenya East. Mount Kenya East is a Pharisee. Maybe, and I want to say to your viewers here, Bwana Brother Benzo nilujue, people from Mount Kenya know that ni kama hata huko Nyanza. In Nyanza, people know well, ukianzia kuleta story ya South Nyanza, sijui na Nyanza ingine gani, wanajuanga sasa hapo kuna mtu anataka kupitia katikati. You know that. Tunajuanga sana. Even in Rift Valley, wako na hiyo upuzi sijui ya North Rift na South Rift. Every time you hear you are being balkanized into two groups, mujue kuna mtu anataka kupitia katikati hapo. And people in Mount Kenya region, they know this talk of Mount Kenya East, Mount Kenya West na Mount Kenya South. Kuna mtu anataka kupenyea hapo. There is somebody who want to. So Mount Kenya region will never be separated. It's unfortunate. It's not easy to agree to that as William Ruto. And for your information, if there is a region which in Kenya votes with a lot of bias, let me use that word, bias, onto their issues, is Mount Kenya region. When I talk of, Brother Benson, voting with a bias is not bad. We call it voting with a bias, where you are voting onto certain issues. Why? Yeah. Because Mount Kenya region, as I'm speaking about it here, is that they have their issues which the government has refused to address. And part of the issues to be addressed, and every region has a representation. You understand, Brother Benson? Every region has a representation. It is just like the way even William Ruto is a representation from Rift Valley. So, and the people from Rift Valley will feel bad when their representation is withdrawn from the government. It goes without saying. So you understand that? So what I'm trying to say is that you cannot attack a people's representation in the name you want to solve political issues. Mount Kenya representation has been attacked, and representation is part of solving issues. So regarding Gachagua, the fact that he was in the government and that representation was withdrawn, it is something which will actually bring anti-Ruto rhetoric in that region, because their representation in the government has been hooved away. So that is the story. So people might think that we are like trying to support Gachagua here. No, but what we are trying to talk about here is your representation being annexed away. You are now, like right now, Mount Kenya region has no representation. Kindiki is not a representation of Mount Kenya region. Kindiki is a sycophant, and he will never. And there's no way in which Mr. William Ruto can form a coalition with Mount Kenya region where their representation is not there. And that is why people like Gachagua, however they are, they will continue becoming big and big and big, because there are some people who feel that is their representation, and they're in millions. So that is a quagmire which exists in this government, and they have been unable to leave from that argument. So what there is, brother, is very simple. Mr. William Ruto has refused to accept that Kenyans have rejected him. And in return, he is also rejecting other people. The same way Kenyans are rejecting him, and he is feeling that rejection, is the same way we are also feeling his own rejection. It comes that way. So when Ruto is saying some people are incompetent, that is how we also feel that he is incompetent. So you should not think that Muturi is the only incompetent person in the world. As Muturi is incompetent, it is Ruto. So if there is a person who deserves to be sacked, it's Ruto. So I don't know why Ruto thinks that he is the one who has the iota of sacking people. Na yeye mwenyewe hawezi futwa. Bwana unaweza gonga link hapo so that I think Matundeto aingie, please.
Yeah. Okay, I've shared the link. I don't know that I can see it. Yeah.
Let me also share it. It's okay. So I'll link to you. So let me explain to you something, because his story we have to finish. So let other people contribute and read comments.
Yeah, and also there are also other comments here that I want you to give your opinion. There's one from Tommy saying, do you guys know of a soldier who was killed in Haiti about 3-4 days ago? There's also a comment from Ubuntu saying, Gaucho, the former and recent AK-47 robber, has he confessed before all in the internet? Today at Jivanji again, there Salasia must never attend any stadium. Njiru, can you comment on Gaucho, the sponsor? Okay. Yeah, maybe you can conclude and then you'll give your opinion on those comments.
So what I was saying is that
Karibu Mkenya Mkora.
we have to continue being bubonic, and we will do all the outright things to make sure that things are working in Kenya, and we will not cow down. So on the issues of Haiti, we are doing the wrong mission. Wakenya wana mtetezi. I don't know who can return those Kenyans home before they die, all of them. I wish there was somebody, there was an opposition leader who could actually put Kenya into that path of returning our police home, because there's no need of, we started reacting when we lose 50. We are on that path now. Inaonekana sasa barbecue ni kama amenoa meno sasa. I think sasa barbecue amesema enough is enough. And also you need to know that barbecue pia is also being emboldened by Trump policies. Trump policies are America first agenda. So I think now the American government now is not concentrating very much on things outside. So I think Kenyans are on their own. Kenyans might think that hiyo mission wako na Marekani, lakini wa Kenya wako peke yao. So I wish we can terminate, because that mission in Kenya is not helping anyone. It is not adding food in our table. Even if you want those allowances, you can only enjoy those allowances when you are alive. So I think it is better for our young soldiers to return. I've seen like they are boys in their 20s. It's so unfortunate. The boys who are dying are boys in their 20s. People with a lot of life, leaving young widows, widows in 20s. No, hatuwezi. So msichana wa miaka 20 hata akiachwa na kijana, sasa unajua sasa pia saa zingine we are also not a serious nation. We just, very young boys are dying. So sababu ya mashida ya barbecue. So huyu barbecue tuachane na ye. That's a problem. So on issue ya Gaucho, for me, I believe Gaucho is a daft. That is courtesy of me. I believe Gaucho is a daft. He doesn't represent the critical thinking of Kenya. He is a tool of use by anyone. And it is so unfortunate that history will judge him wrong. And it is so bad when your children, when you are old, watakuwa wanaona zile videos ulikuwa unafanya, because unajua hizi vitu zitakaa kwa internet all the time. They will be so ashamed of you being their father. So mimi tu ningeambia tu Gaucho, for the first time, be a Kenyan. Stop being a tool of somebody. Psychophancy does not pay anywhere. At least stand for what is right. Don't stand for one man. Stand for what is right. Governments come and go. Hata hii ya Ruto itaenda. Governments come and go. We were with Kibaki. He is dead. Ni marehemu sasa. We were with Moi. Ni marehemu. We were with Uhuru. He is somewhere in Ishaweri, relaxing. Even this Ruto, there is a day when he will be in Sugoi. And even media people are not going there. So Ruto asifikirie ni Alpha na Omega. He will be gone. He will ever become a former president. His regime will not be here for ages. So whether he becomes a strong man or not, he will be gone. So, and it's so bad that when the history of Kenya is being written, kunasemekana wewe ulikuanga psychophant ya Ruto. Hakuna kitu mbaya kama hiyo. Ati wewe
Njiru.
Yes, Mkenya Mkora, karibu.
Vipi baba?
Karibu, it's been long. Umepotea.
I know, nimepotea kidogo, lakini nakwaga huko kwingine. Njiru, you know, I'm accepting everything that you said and nimekubaliana na wewe. You know, there's gonna come a time what Njiru is trying to say. Tumechoka bana. I don't know if you guys are looking at the bills that are being passed. Yeah.
Njiru, kindly moderate, nichukue tu chakula hapa kidogo. I'm around.
That is okay, niko hapa.
Okay. Mkora, continue.
Thank you, Baba. Unajua, like Njiro is saying, watu wamechoka bwana. I'm looking at the things that is happening, I mean, that are happening nowadays. Ni kama hata Njiro, I think we need to take a sabbatical. I think we've already educated Kenyans. I mean, they know where they're going. Me, I think the civic education that we've done, I think is enough. When I'm looking at these people, what they're doing, I think Wakenya wenyewe sasa wamejua kujitetea, bro. I don't know what you think about this because no one is buying anything. Hakuna mtu akona. I think we are too broke to buy anything, to buy stupidity of sijui kuuziwa ukabila na kuuziwa sijui this nonsense. And I was really laughing about the Susan Kihika thing today, that people have written to Trump arudishwe nyumbani. She's absconded her duties, that she needs to be taken back home and go deal with people of Nakuru. Arudishwe nyumbani. They want him to be deported, and they've written so many letters to Trump wamdeport arudi, hata kama alikuwa anakuja kuzaa twins. So Njiru, don't you think we're in a good space, and everything that we've been doing is there, that watu sasa wanaanza kuelewa exactly what was happening, even now that we are fighting Raila and we are fighting I've seen your crush Sabina Shege trying to say something, and she's trying to, anajaribu kukaa ni kama anafurahisha watu. Sasa what is it? Wakisi washatuambia hawataki mchezo. Sisi Wakamba, sisi bado mnatukalia huko kando, mnatuogopa. Nyinyi Wakikuyu sasa huko umesema pia nyinyi hamuchezi. Don't you see that? I mean, Njiru, where is Raila and Ruto? What is it that is left for them? Give me two.
Okay, Mkenya Mkora is that coalition between Raila and Ruto will not hold. That coalition will die because of non-acceptance. It is only a crazy man who will continue supporting somebody who is at 10% approval rating. It is impossible. I think Raila Odinga himself, he has just found out that Mr. Ruto cannot be helped. However, he is tied in the hands because hakuna kitu anaweza fanya. But I want to tell you, Mkenya Mkora, Raila regrets his attempts to try and save Ruto. He thought that it was the same escalade of 2007, mnasalimiana vitu zinaisha. He thought that it was 2018, mnasalimiana vitu zinaisha. I've just seen an extract from the Kenyan security agencies vile wanasema. So Kenyan security agencies wamepeana warning ya Ruto must go. Wanasema this Ruto must go chance are serious. Ni akina Kariri wamesema hiyo. I'm just so do you think they are right, Bwana Mkenya Mkoro? Although you are saying now watu wamesikia, but now Kenyan military wanasema hii Ruto must go chance is not a mere rhetoric. There are things which
Njiru, last week, Njiru, bro, last week I brought up something on our discussion on the other channel, and I asked you guys, why do you think that thing was spoken in the parliament of coup, you know? And they were speaking in little rhetorics, you know, like normally we've always said that unajua, like so many ships zinakujanga and unapata ship imebeba mahindi maybe from Uganda or from Tanzania, and then all of a sudden in the parliament they go and pass a law of subsidy. Why is it that it was so executed very meticulously, so that last week they were talking about the coup and talking about Traore in parliament, is because military is also, they've come to a point where they are ready to take this thing over. And I think the reason even the Mount Kenya tour was cancelled this week of Ruto is because there was nothing that was going to happen there, and he's lost any value, even including internationally. And that is my biggest take, that I believe there's people who actually know what exactly is happening. And one of them is actually one Mr. Raila Odinga. And that is why he has not spoken anything publicly. He's been very quiet as we speak. And alikuwa nakuja, I remember when we came in as the youths and hizi vitu zingine, what we came in to do and call him, Kasongo, Wewe, and all that. When the memes started coming up, Raila, actually, the problem that people have a problem with Raila is because he came in and akafuliza hiyo kitu yote, but now they are both of them understanding that irregardless what they do, there's no one with them. And so they are cornered. And that is why Ruto will not go to Mount Kenya, not this week. Neither will Raila speak anything, because Raila is going to try and outwit Ruto by not saying anything and following what Uhuru did by just keeping quiet, which is what we wanted him to do in the first place. Right now, he has no Kisi, he has no, both of them do not, even the Luo Nyanza are not listening to him. So, where is their power at? It's not in Central, it's not in Kisi, it's not in, Nyanza, it's not in Ukambani, it's not, where are they going to get anything from what? Unless the goons, and nobody is even caring about the goons. Actually, people are exposing Mr. Njiro. Aka kamenuka for both of them. Raila aliharibu. The gods might bless you in the morning and curse you in the evening. Aliharibu hiyo kitu yote. Imeenda. The person that we used to think of Raila is gone. Now the Ruto, the culprit, the mkora huyo, yake we already knew. The Kashagwa is out. Now we're watching at a whole new debacle and a whole new way of doing politics in our country, to a point that now, that's why I keep on saying, and we had that tulifanya hiyo nini poll, the poll that any mosquito will win against either Raila or Ruto. And that is why most of the politicians are staying very far away from them. And all the media stations have realized that the mainstream media is not working with people, but actually media stations like we do, the YouTubes, whatever we do, those are the ones that are working. So you can see the media, there's a change of it, that they're actually turning around to start actually understand and listen to people. Njiro, back to you.
Sawa, na Mkenya Mkora, kwa nini leo hutaki kuweka kamera?
Niko mali in public bwana. Maybe baadaye. I'm somewhere in public.
Yeah, sasa tunataka hii, as we vent this rhetoric, tunataka watu sasa waanzie kujioneshana sasa, ili pia bwana Kasongo akuange anajua wale watu wanamuongelesha sio masiudo. Anyway, but I agree with what you are saying. There is a trajectory of a takeover. Nivile it is becoming a little bit slow. I wish it can happen with peace ama na amani, but story ya Kasongo kushindwa na serikali sasa, hiyo is not a matter of iko ama iko. Kasongo ashashindwa na serikali, alipelekewa wale maexpert, alipelekewa na Raila, au maexpert pia, they have not helped on anything. So I think now ni kama sasa we need a total overhaul. That is the only scenario. So now we need a total overhaul, and it is so bad that this thing has also come to actually destroy one of the person who we thought has been one of the most serious politicians in Kenya. Hiyo ndio ile kitu inanifanyanga pia niumwe sana. I did know that in life you can miscalculate, but nilikuja kujua pia it happens like football. Pia in football you could be a very good player, but you forget to retire or you refuse to retire, hadi uanzie kujikuta sasa wewe ni kiongozi
and Jiro is not just retired, is retired at your prime.
Yeah, that's what
Unajua
I'm saying.
Zidane aliretire on his prime. You don't wait until umejigongo ushaharibu kila kitu. You see, Uhuru ni went to retire.
Hata nani ngoja kidogo, hata nani, even this guy from Germany ameretire juzi wa Real Madrid, very good midfielder, he retired at 34. Yeah, those things I understand, I appreciate them. So what I was thinking is that I didn't know that like the Tower of Babel, which Raila Odinga had built, would come crashing. Is a pity. I think it's a lesson for a century, but also the lesson for William Ruto is a lesson for the century. Do you know, Bwana Mkenya Mukora, Ruto is the most consequential president in the 21st century in Kenya. Not consequential in a good way, but consequential in a bad way. Now, Ruto has set the standard that every time when Kenyans are going for the election, they will be thinking twice. I think Ruto is equivalent to the Hitlerian moment in Germany. Do you know that Germany had to do a lot of reforms, courtesy of Hitler? Immediately after Hitler regime, 12 years of brutality in Germany, Germany had to learn a lot from what Hitler had done, and that is why saa zingine unaweza fikiria ni kama Germany wameshindwa na siasa, but they came to know what politics by one man can do to a nation. So that's why saa zingine mimi I never question Germany too much, because I know they have suffered from some few people who paid allegiance to one man, Mr. Hitler. Even though Hitler developed so many things in Germany also, but inikuamisha watu walikufa sana. So Hitler really changed Germany for what it is now. Saa zingine ukionanga ni kama Germany siasa yao iko na baridi. So that's why I'm saying
you don't even have to apologize about that. You're 100%. You know, sometimes in life, there comes that certain leader or wanna be called leader that comes and messes up everything so that people can go back and rethink of their destiny. Kenya is really rethinking their destiny. They're asking about, are we going to call it tribalism or diversity? Kenyans are asking about our leadership. Kenyans are asking about the policies that we are making. Kenyans are really going back to the drawing book, to not just sitting in the house or making your own business or going to whatever work you're doing and not thinking about your development and the policies that are being made. So for me, Njiru, I think I'm a happy man in the sense that even the diasporans, the reason they're fighting the diasporans so much is because diasporans are actually speaking to what needs to be spoken about according to what they've seen out there. So, Njiru, is this a time to mourn? I don't believe so. Kenyans are now starting to speak about diplomacy. Look at the Nduta lady. That now we don't even understand if she's been killed, she's been whatever. We don't even know. There's so many things, and Kenyans are actually coming out and being very detail oriented in what we do, because for the longest time our politics has never been detail oriented, because it was just Moi bora aseme kitu yenye amesema, nani aseme kitu yenye amesema. So we are coming to a point that hata saizi mtu akijaribu kutu divide in the sense of ukabila, it's not working. Regardless what they try, wanajaribu kabisa. We told them kupiga salasi itakuwa shida. Now you can see what is actually trending in the media. Mlipiga Selassie ya kufanya nini? Because of kuambia baba sijui ati sijui amekosa. Listen, guys are going to go to a place where when you try to sell that tribalism shit will not even work at all. The Selassie thing, yet nikamkora kanapenda mavitu zake na kanapenda kakamunyweso kake. Lakini, either way, was he supposed to be fought because of Raila? So, unaona, watu wameituma tena sasa kwa Raila. So you see, that is what is happening. And I'm saying that the smartest politician in Kenya today, I can give it to Uhuru. Uhuru alijua kunyamaza na achana nayo kitu. Wakachapwa, akachapwa, wakaenda wakaua mambuzi zake, mang'ombe, wakafanya nini and everything, akanyamaza. Saizi hata ukitaka kuongelesha Uhuru, because that is what brought Ruto into power, kwa sababu ya kuongea vibaya kuhusu Ruto, nothing. Now, this other guy, baba ya Fidel, he did not know how to keep quiet. Now he's learning, but it's too late. My friend, saizi tunaendea mosquito. Na wakidhani Morara Kibaso pia ni fala ama watu wenye wanakuja wadogo, saizi this career politicians, hakuna mtu atapata hiyo kitu, my friend. Wote wanaenda nyumbani. This is gonna be a bigger sweep than 202 when they were all swept. Saizi tutasweep kila mtu na tutakuwa tukijali kama wewe ni Mkisii, wewe ni Mkamba, wewe ni nani. We will not care anything. Saizi tutakuwa tuokota mtu tu from nowhere. And Luos, a warning to Luos wenye wanatusikiza, waache kuanza kutisha watu ati sijui ati mtashikia watu sijui Thika Road sijui nini. If Kenya decided kila mtu akae kwa tribe yake na tuanze kupigana, I can almost bet you all you need to do is to buy one tire of a Range Rover yenye Mluo anaendesha kwa nini, kwa barabara, cause the next thing you can burn ni nyumba ya matope huko nyumbani. I'm not talking in a bad way. I'm just saying that the warmongers be warned, because hata sisi Wakamba tunaweza kuja, Wajaluo wanaweza kuja, newbies can come, kila mtu tupatane kwa field tuone nani atashinda. So that war nonsense is past. We are 21st century, bona. Right now we talk something that is serious. Njiru, I don't know what you think. I have a friend of mine anasikiza, hakuwa anajua tunakuwaga na show kama hizi, and he's just laughing, anacheka tu hapa tu kando. But I was telling him that we have platforms that we actually talk, and it's not just NTV, na hizo mainstream media. Maybe Njiru, I don't know if you will open yours after your brother Benson. I'll be open today. Tupatane huko kwingine. Unless you have something to throw back at me.
No, that one is fine. Nimekusikia. I was not intending to be live today, so maybe kesho tunaweza kutana, but I think Stone PK will be live today. Leo alisema atakuja, so I think we will meet kwa Stone PK. Is that enough? Mkenya Mkora, is that in order? Tutakutana kwa Stone PK later in the day. Today.
Okay, nakwambia that's fine. Tunaweza na kwa Stone ama whatever, just salimia kina nani. I wanted to come in, and my friend was asking me if we really go live. He's a new guy. He's about to log into all our channels. So nataka kumpatia zote, so he can actually be able to be at Wonage, and he understands where we are headed with our politics. And then maybe we tutapatana either kama umesema ni Stone PK or hata yako or whatever. I'm open today, nitakuwa all over maybe nikifika home. I just met a friend someone, nikamwambia tunakuaga live, and he's really enjoying what we do. So
Yeah, I hope he understand the problems we have with Kasongo. Unajua that is the beginning point. Is he aware ama he thinks that we are mad? What is this?
The funny thing, Jiro, is that I have a very hard time of finding someone that is pro Kasongo. Huyu mwenye nakwambia ni Mkisii. Ako against Kasongo kabisa, yani hata anacheka. By the way, say hi. Just say hi.
Hello, habari yenu? I'm not getting it.
Yeah,
Njiro.
yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah. That's my friend, and anauliza habari yenyu.
Habari yenyu?
Yes, how are you, sir? Habari yako na Kasongo?
Tuko sawa. Kasongo, kwa majina mi naitwa Edwin Obocha. Probably you know that last name, you can relate to it. So, Kasongo, there's a lot to say, but
Are you
right
happy
now,
with him? Are you happy with him?
Oh, no. He can't even step out on our grounds in Kisii. He can't even step in Kisii. He knows how the ground is hostile there. Hatutaki mambo yake.
We bwana Obuocha bwana, stop being unpatriotic.
Just because he's a president doesn't mean that we have to go down and kneel down for him. I mean, it's just common sense. Like, even see, Raila came in there, he knew what he was doing. He was trying to fail Kasongo in 2027. He had his own, it's like, he had his own matrix on what he's doing. So with that, whatever handshake they had, that's not going to move Kenya anyway, on my perspective. So
now,
even
give us a formula. So tufanyaje sasa? Tulie story ya Kasongo mpaka dunia ishe. So what do we do?
Apana, you already seen what happened at Nyayo Stadium. That was clear, showing him, actually Kenyans turned into large numbers that day to show him that the ground is hostile. We don't want him. So usiposikiza ground, unajua hata hiyo kura huwezi shinda. That's one thing I learned from my dad. Akisema ground ikikukataa, bas huwezi toboa.
Story inaisha.
Story yako wewe unaenda nyumbani.
So now, so you think now we can regroup as opposition to Ruto and we can actually produce a president very soon? Do you think so?
Against him, not with Ruto, against him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Against him. That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
we can form an opposition. We can form an opposition which can actually remove him. Do you believe so?
Yes, they can take him to power, but we don't want leaders that have been there that we want to recycle them career-wise and in being in that government, that has failed Kenyans. We want new blood, vibrant, and Kenya is, is a great country. We want to push this country forward. I mean, we're lurking behind. We have all these resources. I mean, corruption and all this. I mean, we can't. We need new fresh blood. 2027 come through.
So give me that coalition. Tushikaneaje? Give me our leaders who you think we can coalesce and
Mosquito, me right here. I can. If I can run for the seat for West Mogrango. I'm telling you, not just for sympathy votes, but to run for that MP seat for West Mogrango. I know the formula and everything, so I'm just giving you heads up. So if we put our heads together, we can produce a good presidential candidate, especially around that area.
Sawa kidogo, hebu kwanza niwape some breaking news hapa. Okay. Sasa Mkenya Mkora, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening. Now.
Raila ameendelea kuingia kwa serikali
kabisa.
Yeah, I understand. Nilikuwa nataka kuambia sasa, Raila ameingia kwa serikali vizuri. Ruto amemwappoint. So President Ruto appoints Raila Odinga as a special envoy to Sudan. So mnajua leo ni kama kitu kuna mambo kizungumkuti imeingia, kuna like their vice president was arrested. Sijui kama ulikuwa umesikia kitu kama hiyo Mkenya mkora.
Which one was that? South Sudan is done with Raila one.
No, he is now the special envoy. Wacha nikuweke.
Kenya's special envoy to South Sudan following the arrest of first Vice President and opposition leader Riek Machar, along with his wife, Interior Minister Angelina Teny. Odinga is set to travel to Juba this Friday in a bid to prevent a potential civil war. Olive Barrows reports on the latest developments. News of the arrest of Riek Machar, the leader of the Sudan People's Liberation Movement in opposition on Wednesday, was met with an immediate and resounding response from the international community as it moves to forestall another civil war. But tensions have been building for several months, and his party had prior to Wednesday reported that Machar's residence was surrounded by security forces loyal to President Salva Kiir. Late on Wednesday, however, according to Machar's press secretary, a convoy of over 20 heavily armed vehicles forced their way into Machar's residence, led by the defense minister and chief of national security. Machar's bodyguards were then disarmed and an arrest warrant presented under, quote, unclear charges according to his team. While his aides and security were reportedly arrested and taken away, Machar and his wife are under house arrest. A move which the SPLM-IO says is a violation of the 2018 revitalized agreement on the resolution of the conflict in the Republic of South Sudan. A development which puts South Sudan in a precarious position, according to the UN mission in South Sudan, which stated the country's leaders stand on the brink of relapsing into widespread conflict. The Intergovernmental Authority on Development, which facilitated the 2018 peace agreement, put it this way: the current trajectory, if unchecked, could lead to a collapse of the transitional process and a relapse into full-scale war, with devastating consequences for the people of South Sudan and the region at large. The U.S. Bureau of African Affairs calling on President Kiir to, quote, reverse this action. Kenya, which historically has been at the fore of peace negotiations in South Sudan, moved swiftly to appoint Raila Odinga as a special envoy. President William Ruto, posting to his social media, had a phone call with President Salva Kiir on the situation leading to the arrest and detention of first Vice President Riek Machar in South Sudan. After consultation with and Prime Minister Abiy, sending a special envoy to South Sudan to engage, try de-escalate, and brief us back. The African Union chairperson, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, also stated that he too would be deploying the AU panel of the WISE, which is chaired by the retired Justice F.U. War, Kenya's first female state counsel, senior magistrate, High Court judge, and appeals court judge. Olive Barrows, Citizen TV.
Ndio hiyo bwana. Raila Odinga sasa Raila Odinga ndiye special envoy to Sudan. Kata sio Ruto. React.
Hiyo ni story. Hii story za jaba. Yaani amjata si mtwange maganda. Yaani amwezi vuta bangi bila maganda.
I think he has just been appointed. The news has been sent to the media. Yeye ndiye special envoy to Sudan.
Humo na venye Sudan wanaongea kuhusu Raila.
That's a confirmation that the guy is in, nakwambia sasa ni broad base sasa. Sio ni broad base sasa, fully confirmed sasa. Atakuwa anasema yuko kwa serikali na anapointiwa kama special envoy.
Lakini kuna jokes. Si hami Kenya. Njiru, okay. You're a political analyst. You're umesoma. Are you serious? Seriously? Are you going to tell us that Sudan ati kwanza, ngoja kwanza, unajua kuna kitu moja nimesahau. Which Sudan are we talking about? Are we talking about North or Sudan?
Sudan ya chini, Southern Sudan. Hii wale watu
hii yenye tunashare bendera nao.
Ya warefu weusi.
No, ngoja, kuna Sudan mbili, kuna ya Waarabu pale juu yenye tuliwaachia na alafu tukateremka chini tukasema hiyo na tukashare bendera nao. Bendera yao tu ni emblem wana, lakini yote ni Kenya. So which Sudan are we talking about?
ya chini.
South.
Yes.
Kuna mchezo. South haiwezi kubaliana na North Sudan, na South ni Kenya, lakini shida ni ile shida, hata ukiingia kwa Wajaluo na I mean, even us as our tribe or whatever we do, South Sudan is Kenya. Watu wana vita yoyote. The reason, and I want you, Njiru, to look at the geopolitical thing, because the reason even South Sudan decided to kutokana na hiyo Sudan ingine is because they were done and dusted and tired. It's the same thing that we wanted tulikuwa tunataka tuache Central. Pole, I know you come from Central, you're my brother, lakini unakumbuka kulikuwa hata map tugawane, kila mtu akae kivyao. Unaona, sisi I mean, hao waliamua wakasema nyinyi kaeni na yenyu basi, kama mnataka kupigana na vitu kama hizo. Now the problem is that Kenya thinks is such a well with Ruto, things ni mtu mkubwa sana, he can do whatever and he can change whatever, even other countries wear counter suits and come and mess up other countries na vitu kama hizo. Is the reason Malema is fighting him, the reason all these countries are fighting him, and it has gone past Ruto. It has become a Kenyan affair now, to a point that anaitwaje Muturi, a whole attorney general is now anapigwa pia. So Ruto is Kenya, Kenya is Ruto, according to his mind. So that shit has to stop. Sorry, I apologize. Hiyo kitu lazima ishe. It has to go, bro. I'm telling you, hakuna mtu ako na vita na mtu, hakuna Mkikuyu ako na vita na Mkamba, hakuna Mkikuyu ako na vita na Mkisii, hakuna mtu ako na Ruto ndo analeta shida.
I wanted you to react. I wanted you to react to what is the Ruto concept when he is now trying even to add Raila more work by kumfanya sasa hata special envoy wa Southern Sudan. That was my question. Now, do you think Raila Odinga will now start coming back and start saying that he is not collaborating with the government as he has been lying? Kama vile aliongea kwa mazishi jana, yeye yuko kwa serikali. Can he be sent as a special envoy by Ruto and he still says that he is not part of the government? That was the question.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for clarifying that. But I will tell you that constitutionally, Ruto has no mandate to send anyone to go do anything for the country. The office has to do with that. Raila, and it's hard for me to tell you this. Raila has already realized that he goofed. Sitaki kuongea vibaya. He goofed. He's lost everything that he ever had. His people Kibera, he can't even stand there. He can't do anything. Now, this whole thing, Raila, the reason is so quiet is because there's nothing he can do, and the citizenry is not in Raila or Ruto's.
The Kenya Defense Forces is now warning those chanting against President William Ruto and the government that they must do so within the law. And as Sabir Mohammed now reports, the KDF boss Charles Kahariri has further clarified that the Gazette notice to deploy the military to support the police is yet to be revoked. Ruto must go. The scenes at Nile National Stadium Sunday. In Naivasha during the WRC Safari Rally, Ruto must go, since that have now become the order in entertainment joints and other social places. The Kenya Defense Forces is now warning that all this must be done with the law.
So wakati watu wanaamua kwamba tumechoka na hii serikali na mlichagua wenyewe, alafu mnasema must go, must go. That must go must be done according to the constitution.
Kenyans have been expressing their displeasure with the current government, chanting Ruto must go in various places. This is the first time the military boss is speaking on the matter. The sentiments comes just days before President William Ruto tours the Mount Kenya region, a region that has been termed to be cold for the president since the impeachment of his former deputy Rigathi Gachagua last year. The chief of the defense forces, Charles Kahiriri, says their mandate is to protect elected governments. Kahiriri, for the first time, also responded to claims of the use of military during the Gen Z-led protest last year.
This issue of how politics goes and all that, and by the way, the military, one of the core values is that we are apolitical. We don't support any political side. We defend the constitution and the government of the day, duly elected by the people.
Last week, Defense Cabinet Secretary Soipan Tuya said the KDF deployment order from June 2024 remains active, adding that there is ongoing court case on the matter.
If there is a problem, it will be the implementation and the people given the responsibility to implement the laws. But the laws as they are constitutional and they respond to a democratic thirst. Without cohesion, there is no national security. We also need
Njiru
to create a resilience.
Okay,
Bro,
kidogo nataka kuuliza swali.
it's very nice that you're playing those videos. Unajua hiyo ndio kitu watu wanafaa kuelewa. Wakenya si wajinga.
Ngoja kidogo Mkenya mkora. Military wamesema ya kwamba ile gazette notice ilileta military kwa barabara haijakuwa revoked. Ndivyo wamesema. Now amesema huyo Kariri that hiyo Ruto must go, must be done within the law, and he is there to protect the elected government, and he is a political. So my question is, why is the military boss speaking and the usual don't speak?
Dude, how much can I tell you that even for it to be even spoken in the parliament, it was a big thing. But let me tell you, my friend, bro, ukiona military wanaleta vitu zenye, I mean, when was the last time uliona the military wakiongea? I mean, any budget making or anything to be done with parliament, ukisikia military wakiletwa, there's something cooking. And this thing that is cooking is that, and when you see the international community, ikiingilia watu wa international community, my friend, kuna kitu inaendelea. Unaona Trump alikuja alitunyima USA aid. Ikaendelea. Na watu wanasema, this thing is way bigger than Ruto and way bigger than the parliament and way bigger than everything. Now, let's go back to your video, Micheza, about the Ruto must go thing of your Harambee Stars. Remember, this is an international, it's an international, what do you call this? It's an international match. Do you think that message was really sent to Kenyans? Kenyans hakuna, I mean, hizo ni vitu zinafanyanga huko hivyo kimagendo. Hiyo kitu ilikuwa an international thing. So many people received the message. Message well sent, message well received. I keep on talking about diplomacy. So many diplomatic people walipata hiyo message loud and clear. And so what can I tell you? I'm telling you that the people in government right now, they're not sitting pretty because they know kamenuka. And I'm telling you the truth, because hata wajui wataenda nini. They can't use the tribal card anymore because hiyo imeenda. Hakuna Mkikuyu atapiga Mkale ama apige Mkamba ama apige nani. then the diplomacy, the international kind of law pia nao pia imepotea. So how do you, I mean, mtu homeless sasa unataka afanye nini? So and that's why Ruto is beat up. Ndio maana anataka baba Fidel apate nini, apate the downfall. Anajaribu kila kitu ikae ODM. So hold on, let me finish. ODM sasa saizi, if they don't play their cards right, hao ndio wataachiwa noma. Na baba huyu baba nani, mama Smuki, huyo atapotea tu hivi cause ni mkora, is a conman, atakon ODM na apotee akiachia ODM noma. And that is what is coming to happen. You will tell me, bro, we've been in this politics for a long time, mimi nikiwa na wewe. You know it. Hata Wavinyandeti unaona venye kamenyamaza. When was the last time ulisikia Wavinyandeti? She doesn't even speak. Aongeaki kabisa. So hii kitu itabaki tu. Hii ni vita ya Wakikuyu na na nini, hata si Wakale. Ruto ashatokea hiyo kitu. Hii ni Wakikuyu na nini na nini na Wajaluo. Yeah. Hata Wakale wako kwa hiyo story, walijitoa kitambo, walijiondokea Wakamba.
Ukiona
Unasikia hata beshti yangu anasema hivyo, na yeye ni Mkisii. Mwambie asikie.
wanasemanga, what does that saying? They say that furaha ya kunguru. That's what Gekales are happy now because them two factions are fighting. So and plus tukiongeza hapo ile vita ya Salasia sasa inakuwa sasa imeleta ingine sasa, it's just like a love triangle gone bad.
Jiro, unasikia? Unasikia, you hear what people are talking about. And this is a case, my friend, living in the US talking about this thing. Nani mtu anaongea na watu wa home. I'm telling you, maza hii vita hii this one akamenuka na kameenda kameenda. Hizi Wakamba si tulijitoa kitambo. Unaona kana ujinga. Haya, na Wakisii huyu ananiambia Wakisii nao hataki ujinga. Haya. Kwisha.
Wacha nikuulize swali. Mkenya mkora, kuna hiyo message imeandikwa hapo na Ken Daniels. Ken Daniels anasema Ruto must go, chorus will persist. The military and NIS was sent by Kasongo to try and stop the speculation. It's cooking. I think he was agreeing with you. Then akasema mwizi is heading to that is Ukamani ama Ukambani next month. What happened to Mount Kenya tour? I think pia watu wa Ukambani wanafaa kuleta shida kama vile watu wa Mlima.
But Jiro, I told you very well, Ruto will not step in Kikuyu land. He will not. Nyinyi watu wabaya. I told you that trip was going to be cancelled. I knew it kitambo. And I told you, I was on the show. Na sijui kwa nini niliropokwa. Nikakwambia Ruto atakanyaga. Because Njiro, you guys will not receive him. I know. Amta umreceive. Atajiaibisha. Neither can he even step a foot in Kisii land. Luo land, kuna tufala fulani tunataka kujifanya tuko kwa serikali, but even the larger Luo land will not receive Ruto. So where is he left with? Na pia Kale wako na shida na yeye kidogo. So where is he left with? I mean, let's be logical. Where?
Lakini Ukambani sasa tunahitaji sasa kusikia hiyo rhetoric ya mnasema amtaki story yake. If Mount Kenya has succeeded to quell that tour, then other regions should also resist him. So it shows that
so mwambie ajaribu kukanyaga Ukambani, hata tutamtumia nyuki. My friend, mwambie ajaribu tu. Not that we are with Kalonzo, but I mean whatever it is, mwambie ajaribu kukanyaga Ukambani. Just tell him. Hata asifike Ukambani ndani kabisa huko Nzeni, mwambie ajaribu tu kufika Mlolongo.
Wacha tukaribishe huyu ndugu amefika. Kenyan Revolutionary, how are you?
Sema Njiru, unanisikia?
Unajua wewe, nimekuja kujua wewe you are a man of moment. Wewe bidi ya AOC ilienda vile ulikuwa unataka, ukahepa.
Ati nilikuwa nasema ati nini?
Since Raila akunywa maji kule Ethiopia, ukaenda maji.
But
So I'm just saying that wewe you are a man of moment, Wewe unatokezeanga so sijui kama ni story ya Rick Machar imekutoa, but can you react to Kenyan military now becoming so this outspoken? It is scary.
Yeah, before ni react kwa hiyo story ya Sudan.
We Mkenya Mkora, please can you mute? Mkenya Mkora?
Yeah,
Mkenya
Nico.
Mkora? Please mute,
Yes.
Mute unasikika.
Okay.
Mute. Go ahead.
I actually want to address Mato. Mato is speaking like he works for the government. Uchali nika NIS. You can't be serious talking like that. Unakuja hapo unaanza kusema ati unapatia warning Wajaluo. Who are you to give warning to Wajaluo? Like who are you? Why should we take warning from anyone called Mato? Ambaye anaishi sijui wapi. Like who the fuck do you think you are? Alafu naingia hapa naanza kusema ati sijui hii vita ni na Wajaluo na ninio. Na Wakikuyu. Who told you that? Unacheki vile wase this government sponsored people who wanakuja hapa kuleta confusion na kutenga watu kiukabila. Alafu anaambia Ruto ati sijui asiende Ukambani, sijui Ruto asiende Ukambani. Wavinya Ndeti is not talking because she's corrupt. The MC ambaye alikuwa anataka kuleta impeachment motion.
Ngoja ujibiwe na Mkisii kwanza na mimi. Wacha ujibiwe na Mkisii. Acha ujibiwe.
We, Njiru, ama utachatu wazungumze hivi. If kama tutaendelea hivi basi I'll just log off. I don't give a fuck about Mkisii.
Mkenya Mkora mute. Wacha aseme mtakuja kureact please. Wacha tu aseme. It's okay.
Ati Mkisii. So kwa Mkisii nini? What does that mean? Anyway. Unajua tu kuna unacheki upuzia. You see what I'm saying? Hii ni ufala ambao watu wako nayo, and that's exactly why Ruto anafanya zile vitu anafanya. Because you want to make it about tribe, and guess what? Kama hiyo ndio mtataka, we shall have a repeat of 2007. Alafu tuona huyu Mato na sasa anazungumza hapa.
Listen, my friend.
I don't want to listen to you. I'm giving a point.
You know, we were having a very Ongeminga toka.
Important to say, but to spew tribal division.
Okay, Ongeminga toka. Kuna mama ya mtu hapa.
Atuta ninio
nitaongea. To relax kidogo please,
tutasumbuana. Tutasumbuana, tutakanyagana unless you realize. Mimi niko na Mkisii hapa hivi next to me.
I don't give a fuck hata kama ni Mkisii.
Leo mama yako alininunulia hiyo pombe. Now, listen.
You sound like you're drunk.
What I'm trying to tell you,
I don't want to hear what you're saying.
When umeanza kucast, I never cast.
And you've said nothing.
I'm a moderator. But when you come ukikuja, no, daddy. Mimi ni Mkamba.
Tulieni kidogo. Mkenya Mkora, tulieni kidogo tafadhali.
Let's make it easy. Siniko cancer, Othaya mawapi. I'll be in Kansas next week. Where do you want to meet? Kama unajifanya na kifua, because you want to talk. Tukutane. Siniko Othaya. Ni Othaya sijui ndio wapi. In Kansas. Tukutane Kansas next week. I'll be there on Saturday. Tukutane.
I don't know, wherever it is. I think I've had a conversation with you before. I'm not going to take nonsense. Na urudi kule umetoka. Thank you, Njiru. Mi sipendi huyo ujinga. We are here having a very decent conversation. In fact, hata tumeleta mtu mwingine anasikiza, hata mwenyewe ananizauka na mjaje. Mwingizaji kwa show.
No, he has a right kuingia. The issue is why is the discussion going wrong that way? Sababu ni beef gani uko nayo na huyo beshte?
I mean, I know from the other channel, lakini anyway, I don't have anything with that. Lakini umesikia yeye ndo amekuja hapa hivi na matusi. Me, I'm not going to take that bullshit. I'm sorry, you know me. And you've known me to be very respectful. That bullshit, I'm not going to take it. Kama mtu anadhani anaweza tusi watu kwa show, yeah, mi nitatusi. I'm very good at it. Mi niko na rafiki yangu hapa hivi nimeleta very good person nakuja kuongea history ya
he's disrespectful, folks like that that come into the show with their feelings, emotions, and how they're allied with the political parties that they want to support. I cannot say because I'm not an administrator, but that's how they think. But he's trying to put his stupidity into us so that we can swallow his stupidity. But he has to realize that we are trying to move Kenya. It's not about ideologies of a single person or somebody that just come from nowhere.
Yes. Mkenya mkora, kuna mtu anauliza,
yeah, my name is Obocha. Obocha 001, yes.
Sawa. Huyo besti ametolewa na nani? Amunge mtoa. How can we refuse to agree with each other? Mungeweza kukuja na mkubalia.
No, he had already started a fight. And you see he was talking like in a manner that he wants to curse everybody in the platform, and which is not, that's against the rules. So if he didn't have what he wanted to present on the table to talk some sensical, ideologies, I mean, he just angenyamaza tu asikize. That's all you can do. Anyway, I'll hand it over to Kenya Mkora.
Yeah, anyway, I think ametolewa na Ben because Benson ndio akona hizo rights. So I think Benson ndio amemtoa, si mimi sina right kwa issue.
Ningeomba rudisho because
sijatoa mtu. I think ametoka tu peke yake. Kenya Rebel labda, if you're in the comment section you can just come sort the issue.
Nawe Mkenya Mkora urelax, naye pia Kenya Rebel atone down kidogo, wacha akuje. Yeah, please.
I'm perfectly fine with that. Lakini akikuja na hizo vitu, thank you nani, my other brother. Na akikuja na hizo ujinga bwana. Kama nakuja kutusi watu pia sisi tunajua kutusiana bwana. Sasa hizo ni majina gani? We never even talk about these things hivi.
Okay, ni sawa.
So, sijui nani amemtoa, mimi sijamtoa.
Nilikuwa tu nikitaka tu relax. Wacha akuje, we talk in a gentle way, but staki mtu atolewe. We have to have capacity to tolerate each other. Hata ukisikia ni kama huyo mtu huwezi meza, itabidi we need that.
Lakini mimi akinitusi nitatusi back.
Mnataka kukutana Kansas. Nimesikia mnataka kukutana Kansas, hadi nikaona hii ni urafiki inajengwa hapa.
Siakuja, I'm ready for him. How you come is how I get you. Vijana ubaya, sawa. I mean,
you met Joe Biden. So we should understand that one person from one tribe or region does not represent the views of the people respectively. So Gaucho does not represent all the people in his community.
No.
That is him is saying. So Kenya Revolutionary unaweza rudi because we are doing that Ubuntu. We are doing that, don't worry. So, but ile kitu iko ni we want people to agree to disagree. Sio ati story ya because the polarization, if we cannot handle this polarization, we are not helping Kenya. A Luo should be able to communicate with a Kamba without distress. A Kikuyu should be able to speak with a Luo without distress. Badala tukianzia kusema sasa hii sasa ni kama sasa tunaanzia kuweka hizi chuki ndogo ndogo because of meaning.
Sasa mtu anakuja kutuambia hapa hata sijui ati jiji Waluo sijui hiyo mpendi Waluo. I mean, we are not talking Luo here, we are talking about our country bwana. This guy sasa, it has come time yenye tuseme sisi wote ni my brothers, I don't care where you come from. Sasa huyu amekuja, you see, I have a guest. Ye mwenye hata even the guest mwenye anaona huyu jamaa venye amekuja. Who told you Luos need to say anything in Kenya? My friend, we are not playing those kind of games.
Mkenya mkora, lakini
Najua.
nitataka wewe na Kenya Revolutionary mkuje kwa show tena. You people lazima tuwashikanishe. Hamwezi kuwa ati mnafanya hivyo. Lazima tuwashikanishe. You cannot we cannot be doing so much work about Kasongo alafu sasa vitu ndogo ndogo kama hizi tunashinda. We have to tolerate each other. So Kenya Revolutionary and all that, so let's reduce our toxicity pia tukiongea, tusiweke mambo mabaya sana ama words which can irritate people while they are listening still. So Mkenya mkora, language has to be moderated, so tusiweke matusi. People can disagree intellectually, lakini history ya kuweka matusi is not very fair. So mimi nilikuwa tu nimeuliza Kenya Revolutionary is take about
Alafu Njiru, as we do these shows, uambia watu hakuna mtu akona affinity ya matusi. If you want to say fuck, we can also say fuck. Kuna watu wengine wajaokoka kama sisi. Mtu akikuja hapa hivi anaongea matope and we are not having a good discussion. I mean, seriously, hakuna mtu hapa hivi ameokoka sana alinyimwa kusema fuck. So akikuja akianza kutuimbia hapa hivi fuck. That's why Njiru, on our show, the ones that I have, yours and the other ones that we have, that's why saa zingine mi ukikumtu bila kuuliza, because that's nonsense. People are having a good conversation that someone comes in here, Luo Nation. I don't understand how much money he earned from the Luo Nation today and how many kids watoto wake walipelekwa shule na Luo Nation nini, or even Kikuyu. Njiru, it's nonsense when you're defending a tribe. What the heck is a tribe? Pia si tunajua kusema fuck. Akwende kabisa saitani ya mtu shindwe pepo mbaya.
You don't need to abuse somebody. Mato, I always claim that hata mtu akikutusi you have to allow restraint. So tukisema sasa sisi wote tunataka behave the way the other person did, we are not building our country. Yes, it doesn't mean that it shows weakness in any way. Hata mtu akikutusi, at times ignorance is a strength. Why can't you ignore some of those things? So si lazima ati sababu mtu amekwambia we ni hii na wewe kwa papa no. Restraint is a strength also. So let's not be watu tunakuwa provoked haraka.
I'm okay. Wacha turudi sasa to legit talk. Now that is not here.
So let's talk about the military. So hii military hebu nikuuliza sana Mkenya mkora. Do you think how watu wanaweza ng'oa Ruto? Come on, if they see that because wanasema their work is to protect the government of the day. Even if wamesema their work is to protect the government of the day. Let's say that government
do I think or do I know? Njiru, you're asking a question that you already know. You know, if the military saizi pale Nanyuki, if they want to, not even Nanyuki, I mean the military cooperate. Okay, let's just talk about Nanyuki. If they decide to say Ruto, kanyaga kubwa kubwa, my friend, is just a decision that is gonna be made in two people. Imeisha hivyo na polisi wote warulishe birauni. This is something that is very doable. Is it what we really want? I don't really think so, and I hope it doesn't get there. But that is something that inaweza fanyika saa hii saa kila kitu. Nyinyi mtakuja huko hivyo the police, wengine hata wananga guns, ni uniform tu. Military inakuja kama imeshika guns zao. You don't even know what they have. You know, military, to answer your question, not to go too far, yes, if the military decides it's over, my friend. Hata watu kama kina Sudi, they will be crying. Watakuona kapale kama watoto. Even the police, watarudisha kila kitu. So yes, to answer your question, If the military decided today, it's over. It's done. Dusted. And that is why we had this conversation about kwa parliament, like I told you. That is the reason watu walikuwa wakiongea kwa parliament about because they are scared about kitu kama hiyo ifanyike, because honest to my own thinking and the way I know the military is that we are just a step away from that happening. My take.
So I will still call for Kenyan Revolutionary to return. I still wanted to hear his views. So Kenyan Revolutionary, kama unanisikia tafadhali, you can click the link and come back. Na tafadhali asitolewe. So guys, I really apologize for that, for what happened. So it should not be a privilege show because one is a moderator. No, of course, there's not any privilege we are doing to anyone. But I was actually shocked. So I wish we can be able to tolerate each other. So Mukenya Mukora, I hope sio wewe ulitupa huyo rafiki yetu.
But basically, Zero, okay, and ladies and gentlemen, the people watching, this is Brother Benson show. Guys, I am saying, mimi siku startle anyone, but mimi mtu akinitusi, Njiru, I have gotten to a place where mimi, if you startle me, please, ni kama Michuki alikuwa akisema, if you rattle a snake, expect to be beaten. I just reacted to what alikuja nayo. Alikuja na matusi, pia mi najua matusi. My friend, mimi ukinikujia vibaya round hii tunaenda vibaya na tunaangushana. But ukinikujia na heshima mimi niko sawa, mimi ni mpole. Sinanga maneno. I'm a Christian, I'm a Catholic, I love people. Nitaenda nini inaitagwaje confession nini on Sunday. I'll go for confession. Nitaenda niambie padri, forgive me for thy I have sinned. Lakini hizo stories zingine ukinikuja vibaya, my friend, tutaumana. Huyo alikuja vibaya.
Okay, I wish he was not taken out. Ama ni sawa. So kuna mtu mwingine huyu ameingia, ni nani? There is a new person. Hiyo kofia
hiyo kofia sijaiona, so sijui. Najua watu wengi wenye kujanga kwa mashow zetu, so sijui. Huyo simjui.
Vipi wadau?
Ni Sekjen eh?
Vipi waheshimiwa bwana, muko aje?
Wewe unatokezeanga ili wakati some things are vitu zimetendeka. Sasa Raila Odinga ndiye envoy wa Southern Sudan. React to that.
Sasa huyo unajua is trying to be busy without business. Sidhani hata akicheza huko anaweza. Amefika Sudan tayari?
Anaenda Friday.
Huko akicheza huko ni kubaya. Siasa za huko, siasa zao za unajua sasa si kama Kenya.
Sekjen kidogo. Sekjen kidogo, relax kidogo. Naona Kenyan Revolutionary amerudi. Na Mkenya Mkora nitakuomba tu utulie. Ameenda. I wanted to engage him. Kenyan Revolutionary return again. I don't know who return. Ni anajiondoa ama what's happening? Oh, okay. So good. Kenyan Revolutionary. Let me engage you a little bit.
Please, Njiru. My friend mwenye pia ame react to that, anataka kusema kitu. So please, if you can give him a chance. Ata login.
Goja kidogo, wacha relax because you have said something. Let me engage KBR sahi kidogo. Nitawaleta on board, please. Relax kiasi. So Kenyan Revolutionary, can you react to the military officers saying today that Ruto chants have to be done within the role, and those things can only be implemented through an election? What is he saying?
Jiru, can you hear me?
Very well. Go ahead.
Okay.
Njiru, special request. Special
Boss,
request.
munyamaze bana.
No, ngoja. Special request.
Gang, shut the fuck up.
Please, relax tafadhali.
Dang.
Wacha tu aseme. You will come on board, please.
Uchali ni kadem.
Okay, go ahead.
Nasema hivi, about the military, I'm not even concerned about that. What's the biggest threat right now in Kenya?
Njiru, my friend wants to show anataka kuingia kivyake bila kutumia simu yangu. Okay? That's what I'm trying to say.
I understand.
So,
I understand.
Can you send the link? Yeah, si anataka kuingia ndio akujibu wewe peke yako. Sasa mimi wachane na mimi.
Can you mute? MUTU.
Ni really useless.
Go ahead.
Ni useless.
Please. Me.
Anyway, niko nasema hivi, Njiru, tukiongea siasa, let's address the issues. Tu anaingia hapa na story za ukabila ati sijui anapatia na warning kabila fulani. You have to ask him, unapatia kabila fulani as who? Who are you? Who told you ati Wajaluo wamekosana na sijui wa Kikuyu? Sijui Wajaluo wamekosana na sijui wa Kamba? See, it is the kind of labeling, tribal labeling na kuweka watu kwa hizo vikundi vya ninio za tribes ambayo Ruto is flourishing because he's taken advantage of that. That's how he is going to divide you. Unacheki? He wants to create this narrative ati Wajaluo wamekosana na Wakikuyu sijui nini. Kasongo hapendwi na mtu Kenya. It's not only Mount Kenya, it's everywhere. We know that. Lakini ukipata mtu anaingia hapa anaanza kusema sijui hivi, you're only doing Kasongo's work, making it easier. Ndio maana mimi nasema, as a moderator, I don't know who is the moderator, check that kind of behavior. You should ask him, wewe unauoni kabila kama nani? Unaanza kusema ati mambo ya vita. Nani amezungumza mambo ya vita? Selasa kama alipigwa huko, wacha wale watu walipiga Selasa washikwe na wapelekwe jela. I've been saying here, hata kama ni watu wa Raila is a conman, we know that. They are all conmen. Ruto, Raila, Karua, Musyoka, kila mtu. So we need a revolution and total overhaul of the system in Kenya. Okay? So let's not entertain this kind of denio. Hii mambo ya tribal division nasema ati nyinyi sisi mimi Kisii, mimi wacha Mkisia kujibu. That's silliness. That's the stupidity ndio tutaendelea nayo. Now let me go ahead and answer the question about Machar na sijui Raila being envoy. The president can appoint anyone to be the envoy to represent the nation, okay? His administration. For example, under Obama alikuwa anatuma the former president ambaye alikufa, Jimmy Carter, okay, to be a special envoy, maybe kama kuna vita huko Ukraine or whatever the case is. Trump anaweza kutuma whoever, hata anaweza kutuma Elon Musk aende kazungumze mambo ya South Africa huko kama envoy. You don't have to be in the government to be part of to be an envoy. Now I'm not saying Raila hayuko kwa government. Raila is bullshitting us. Raila ako kwa serikali. We know that. He's just playing games. Isn't the same trick he was using when he was with the Uhuru? The same trick he's using now. And some of us are falling for it. He is in the government. We know that. He MOU ni anini. If anything, is like a co-president. Alikutana hapo na wa China, whatever, the Chinese ambassador, and he made his point. Alikuwa na make his point as in his capacity as who? Unaona? So that's what I'm saying. He is in government, not officially, because hataki accountability. The same way he was in government, handshake government, when he was with Nani? Kenyatta. Okay? He's doing the same thing. So I've come to realize that Raila Odinga is not interested in being the president. He is interested in getting into this handshake arrangement, because that way, serikali ikifail, watu watasema ati Raila Odinga alikuwa kwa serikali, ati Raila Odinga was the president. No, he will have no. Watu watasema ati Ruto failed. Vile Uhuru failed in his government 10 years, watu walisema ati serikali ya Uhuru, hawakusema ati serikali ya Uhuru na Raila. So Raila plays his hand like that. Ndio maana unaona hataki kuretire. Okay? So historia story nyingine umeniuliza hii ya military whatever kusema hivyo. Military cannot kuingia kwa constitutional right ya wananchi. Wananchi you should be able to say Ruto must go anywhere, hata kwa kanisa ana everywhere, as long as you're not causing any au sumbui mtu. That is your democratic right. Of course we had that discussion, Kenya is not a democracy. Wewe unasema Kenya ni sijui nini. Me, I'm saying Kenya is a criminal enterprise, from the president to the opposition to the every member of parliament and every member of judiciary are criminals, all of them. None of them is also wanafaa kupelekwa kamiti na wanyongwe wote. Okay, we don't have a democracy, we don't have a state. So it is upon us as Kenya, gen zote, kabila zote, tukuje pamoja and make Kenya a republic. A republic simply means a state ruled by the governed by the rule of law, as our constitution say. Actually, we are a constitutional democracy. American is a constitutional republic, but we can make it a republic in the sense that we be governed by the rule of law. But Njiru, if you're going to be the moderator, please don't let people come here and start saying hii kabila versus that kabila. We are trying to fight so hard so Wakenya wakuje pamoja tuache kusema mambo ya ukabila. Lakini ukiwacha mtu anaingia hapa na kusema ati napatia warning hii kabila, what does that mean? So please don't let idiots like Mato kuja hapa kusema vitu kama hizo. Fuck him, by the way. Na ukitaka kukutana na tutakuwa Kansas on Saturday, we can meet up anywhere.
No, ni sawa. Kenyan Liberation, I don't go overboard. It's okay. Is unfair. Oh, shapotea. Haya. Brother Benson, mumerudi na mbili. Brother Benson, ingia sasa.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Brother Njiru. Nimeona mambo imekuwa moto hata nikashindwa niingie nikae nyuma, lakini at least umetuliza. Thank you so much. And to everyone at the comment section, this is Brother Benson Media, and at the same time you are watching us via Brother Njiru's channel. Just feel free to also subscribe to Brother Benson Media. Here we say that your opinion counts. Mkenya Mkora, do you have anything to say before maybe we finish?
Yeah, I think we can finish, huh?
Okay, maybe we give him Mkenya Mkora a chance to give his last remarks, and then you'll give your last remarks, and then we'll just finish. Mato, are you there? Maybe Njiru, you can give us your last remarks.
Yeah, and the show was good. I appreciate for everyone who was here. I will request for restraint and doing the right thing for Kenya. We have to rescue Kenya. Kenya iko kwa mikono ya watu wabaya. We have to agree to that. Kenyan Revolutionary just agreed with me. I said earlier, Kenya is not a democracy. That was my discussion earlier. So we now have a process of building a democracy. I don't know when, I don't know how, but it is something we have to do. So I hope Babu Owino will be able to fight his battles and win, and he continue with his registration process well, as idea what to, and maybe he becomes a consequential politician. That's all I would say for now. And I hope as Kenyans, we will be able to reason with good leaders. Tuachane na manyang'au. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Brother Njiru. Me, what I can say is that let us unite as the people. Let the problems that we are going through, that we are facing every day, unite us. Let us not talk to each other based on where someone is coming from, whether tribe, because when we do so, we tend to, we forget the real problem that we are facing as a people. We are facing a government that is not listening to the people, a government that is not accountable. And so we need to come together as a people and join hands, work together so that we can ensure that we do what is right in the coming days. That is what I can say. I want to take this opportunity to wish you all a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from wherever you are. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. Just reminding you again that this is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. If you're new to this channel, kindly like and subscribe to the channel, because if you do so, it is a way of supporting us, and we'll really appreciate. Thank you so much, everyone, and may God bless you. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.